He's John Timpane.
And he's Don Rooney.
And this is
The Musical Innertube.
Now you may ask, why is this podcast called The Musical Innertube?
And we may reply, because that's its name, of course.
Now, how did this podcast get that name?
Back in college, we hosted a radio show. Once, we tried to introduce a soothing musical interlude.
Instead, we messed up and wound up introducing a soothing musical innertube, and the name stuck.
So here we are, hundreds of years later, still talking
to interesting people about their interesting lives.
Difference makers who really make a difference.
And today we're talking with a native of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, or as we around here call it, the gateway to Lebanon. It's Olivia Farabaugh.
Olivia is a musician, songwriter, singer, and performer who's now living in Nashville. Her debut album is called Transparent, and the single just released from that album is called First.
And she was a contestant on Season 10 of NBC's The Voice as well. So welcome, Olivia. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys talking with me today.
So we want to know, what's the biggest difference between living in Palmyra and living in Nashville?
Well, I don't know if I can narrow it down to just a couple differences.
Right?
It's a whole other ball game, but you know, I love it in so many ways, but I also love coming back and visiting family in Palmyra. But I think the biggest thing is just the accessibility to all things music and just like endless music venues and just, you know, endless co-writing opportunities. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. Though Central Pennsylvania does have an awesome music scene too. It's definitely more condensed in the Nashville area.
So your creative process, you bring other people into the co-writing and co-producing kind of thing. Can you talk about that?
So it just depends on the song, really. So some songs I'll just kind of get inspiration in the middle of the night and I'll go and write the song. And then other times I, you know, have a song idea and then I'll bring other co-writers in on it. As far as the production process, this album that's coming out and the singles off of it are co-produced with Mitch Dane from Sputnik Sound. So I am so excited for everyone to just hear. They're all like my little babies. You know, they're just such a big piece of my heart. So I'm excited for everybody to hear them.
Now, you've said in past interviews that people send you information or send you stories on Facebook or Twitter, and you've been able to take some of the inspiration of these things that people send you and weave them into your music. How do you do that exactly?
Yeah, so that idea was inspired from a previous EP that I did called Memories to Melodies, where I talked to local people to the Central Pennsylvania area and took their stories and life experiences and put them into music. And that album, or the EP, was sponsored by the PA Dairymen's Association, and a portion of its sales went to the Fill a Glass with Hope campaign. So I kind of had this, experience in the back of my head, and I thought, how cool would it be to bring that to social media? So I went on the social media sites, primarily TikTok and Instagram, and I just kind of put out there, if anyone has any experiences that they want a song written about, you know, comment, let me know. And, you know, I just feel so lucky as a songwriter. It's such a therapy session too. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool to be able to interact with people through social media and kind of bring that to them, like that kind of experience. And it was really interesting because, you know, the profiles that looked like just absolute perfection, like the lives that we're all jealous of, they came to me with these really relatable stories. And that's where this song that just came out called First, that's where this came from, was actually a comment on TikTok. And that's where the inspiration blossomed.
And I'm wondering too, these stories that you get, these are real life tales. Am I correct? These are things that people have gotten into or have experienced themselves. And on occasion you'll read these and go, man, that'd be great for a song. That would be, I knew a songwriter used to call it the play version of the novel, right? I mean, you know, I'm sure, have you gotten some pretty wild tales? I don't expect you to say what they were, but have you gotten some interesting sort of crazy ones?
Yeah, I definitely have gotten some interesting ones, and like some I probably wouldn't share too, but I think, the big thing with this Transparent album was I wanted it to encompass the transparent human experience because, through that experience on social media and just, my own experiences, I've realized like we are all human. Like no matter what we put in the forefront of our lives on social media and what we show, like we're all going through the same sorts of trials. I mean, obviously some varying, but we're all just kind of going through this walk, this journey of life. So that's where the transparent idea came from.
And it's interesting how much people put between themselves and that truth, isn't there? That people often are like stressing what divides us when a lot of what pop music about and a lot of what especially country music about is telling stories, is telling about people's real lives. Pop music is so good, especially again country and classic country, in telling that kind of story, right? That that's what gives is its soul and its heart. And it's amazing people sometimes get away from realizing, oh yeah, we all walk a mile in each other's shoes every day, and that guy on the other end of the street, he's got his own battles as he passes us while we're walking. That sense of fellowship is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that was such a beautiful way to say it. Exactly. And that's what I so love about music. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to, bring people together in a way that other things can't. And like, that's kind of my goal. Like at all my shows, like I want everybody that's in that room or streaming online or whatever. I just want everybody to be able to feel that sense of community, no matter the differences that are happening in their lives.
Yeah, let's talk about first that single you mentioned earlier, and that's the first single released off the album, very appropriately. It's inspired by a true story, or maybe more than one true story, because it's about something that everybody goes through, and that's sort of heartbreak. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Yeah, so that is one of the ones off of social media, like you said, and that story really stuck out to me because, I think we all so badly at one point or another in our lives have wanted love, to work out the way we planned, especially the first love. Who the heck doesn't want that to work out? Never have to go through heartbreak. And, there's just such a special thing about that first just pull on your heart. So I feel like that is just something that everyone can relate to in the sense of relationships. And so I think we all have that vision for our lives and God's like, no, I got a better plan for you. But sometimes it's really hard to see that in the moment.
Definitely. Let's take a listen now. This is First from Olivia.
My first kiss, my first love, the first time I let my heart fall and hope it land in honest hands. I guess the first thing I did wrong was to think that was you. I always thought it'd be you. Now I thank God not every first is always the last, or I'd be stuck with a man who ain't half of what I deserve, just uses and hurts and takes out my fur. But it's alright, it's okay, thank God always the last, or you'd be stuck with a man who ain't half of what you deserve, just uses and hurts and takes out your first. But it's alright, it's okay, thank God that things can change, but not every first. No, not every first is always the last.
So another part of your personal life that you weave in and out of your music is something, unfortunately, that you've had to put up with for a while. It's chronic inflammatory response syndrome. What exactly is this, and how has it affected you?
Yeah, this has been probably the biggest trial in my life so far, in that, it's just kind of a day-to-day thing. But this all started back in 2016. I moved into a home that, unfortunately, unknowing to us, had black mold in the attic, and it triggered this this gene that 20% of people have that lay dormant in my body and some people's bodies their whole lives. But it becomes activated by the perfect storm of toxin exposure. So now that this gene has been activated for me, my body can't process out toxins as it normally should. So it just recirculates in my body and causes my immune system to just not know what to do and just overload and overdrive. So this was something that when I was going through, I felt really alone. But once I started sharing my story on social media, I realized like a lot of people were going through these similar struggles. And there was a woman that came to me, and she was really in a bad place. And we were talking this one evening, and all I wanted to do was just say, like, I have something I can help you, like, go here and these people can help you. But there just wasn't anything out there. And unfortunately, most of the testing and treatment for chronic inflammatory response syndrome isn't covered under most insurance policies. So a lot of people are stuck in this financial restriction. And shout out to my mom and dad. They let my husband and I move in with them for 2 years and was able to pay for testing and treatment as well as the move. But so I really had on my heart that something needed to be out there for it. And I was able to team up with a nonprofit in Texas called Malachi's Message, and they help people going through toxic mold exposure. So through their nonprofit, we started a branch off of it called the CIRS Support Fund. So the album actually ties in to it. So just like I was saying, Memories to Melodies was sponsored and then helped the Fill Glass with Hope campaign, I was able to get the Transparent album partially sponsored, and a portion of its sales is going to the CIRS Support Fund. So if you stream the music or you buy a physical copy, you'll be able to help that fund as well.
Is this something that could be dangerous to you?
Yeah, I mean, so how it affects me on a daily basis, now that I've gone through most of the protocol. So basically, once my levels are back to normal, I just have to monitor re-exposure, which I guess even before my levels are back to normal, just my everyday. So basically, if I go into a building that has, mold or even the byproducts of mold, really small particles, it can what's the word?
Re-trigger maybe, or reignite?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at him. Good, Don. Very good.
Thank God for dictionaries.
So now if I go in these buildings, it can re-trigger my immune response. So on a daily basis, it's pretty interesting being a musician and having to go into different buildings and having to monitor that. But, I feel like just another little piece of just God knew what he was doing when he gave me this illness and music, because I've been able to spread the word about it and
Interesting.
able to talk to people about it and, team up with Malachi's Message. So I do feel There's a reason, but it's not, I don't like it.
But, that could be part of your demand when you go to play someplace, like, I want only brown M&Ms and I want all the mold removed. So. Now, on a more serious note, you did, again, put some of this experience of your life into one of your songs. What is that song and what does it talk about?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I wrote a song called Body Will Break right in the midst of everything. And I was just such at a low point in that process with my mental state and the relationship between my mind and my body. Like, I was just resenting my body for everything that it was and wasn't doing for me. And so I wrote this song, Body Will Break. So my hope for it is that it can help, be a reminder to people that, we only get one body. So we might as well love it for everything it is trying to do for us. So that's Body Will Break.
Yeah.
And let's listen to that now. This is Body Will Break.
It's a war zone. Under my skin there are gravestones for my body and mind, fighting for the thrones to both end up alone. 'Cause I know is both sides don't seem to be listening as my soul screams between them, falling to pieces. So settle down and listen to me now. Mine, I can see your side. It doesn't seem fair that you feel held back in these bones. You've been trapped now, body. I know you're trying for me. I can see all this pressure that you're under to be what you once were. So might give this body a break, or this body will break. No, it ain't easy to show sympathy to the enemy, but we're given the same breath to breathe, just one life, so please, can we live in peace? Mine, I can see your side. It doesn't seem fair that you feel held back in these bones. You've been trapped now, body. I know you're trying for me. I can see all this pressure that you're under to be what you once were. So might give this body a break, or this body will break. I know there's two sides to every story, but who really gets the glory when both sides are falling apart? Mine, I can see your side. It doesn't seem fair that you feel held back in these bones. You've been trapped now, body. I know you're trying for me. I can see all this pressure that you're under to be what you once were. So might give this body a break, or this body will. Might give this body a
Olivia, we've been talking about First, which is a single from your album. Now, is First technically the first release, or is it different? I just wondering.
Yeah, it's actually the second release from the album.
Oh,
Which technically, chronologically, doesn't make sense. But we had, there was a song called Righteous Dollar Bill that was actually written about sort of this pre-production process of the album. So this song wasn't even written yet when this album, this idea started, and we started the pre-production. But when we were in the beginning process, my music started getting swayed in just really different directions, and I just wasn't loving the music. I'm like, this is not it. This isn't it. And everyone had such wonderful intentions and so kind, and they're like, well, I think you're going to sell more records if you do it this way. And I was just like, I don't like it. I just don't. And so I came on one night, I was just super broken up about it. And I was talking to my husband, Caden, and I'm like, I just don't think that we were brought down here. We had this pull on our hearts to come down to Nashville for me to just then be somebody that I'm not and just fake who I am,
Yeah.
And so that was a really big moment for me, kind of coming into who I want to be as an artist and what I want to say and how I want to say it. And so that was one of the ones where I was trying to sleep, and then this song idea came into my head. And so this is Righteous Dollar Bill is the first single off of the album, because without that experience, without that song, everything else would sound completely different.
Well, let's listen to that then. This is Righteous Dollar Bill by Olivia Farabaugh.
Met him late at night. I got to say he was quite the sight. Tall and tan, slick back hair, charm that pulls you in with no fear. He said, I could offer you a life you always wanted. I could offer you a life among the riches. The only thing you gotta do is be everything you never wanted to be. Oh, would you do for the right dollar bill that could finally fulfill your emptiness? Quick fix like a how that you'll write all your life. What would it take to buy your soul out, line your pockets full of gold? What would you do? Now I won't lie, I sat with the offer, wondering what it'd be like to not just be a number. I guess that he could sense my hesitation, so he questioned me again. What would you do for the right dollar bill that could finally fulfill your emptiness? Quick fix like a how that you'll write all your life. What would it take to buy your soul out, line your pockets full of gold? What would you do? What would you do? I could offer you the life you always wanted. I could offer you a life among the riches. The only thing you gotta do is be everything you never wanted to be. What would you do for the right dollar bill that could finally fulfill your emptiness? Quick fix like a how that you'll write all your life. How would it take to buy your soul? How line your pockets full of gold? What would you do?
there's an old joke among musicians, what is long and slimy, has no ears, and crawls on its belly in the woods? And the answer is a producer. In other words, what you've gone through, I've gone through what you've gone through when, you've got an idea and somebody comes in and says, hey, great idea. Or we could do, and they start pulling and, so it's tough.
Convincing too. It's like, oh shoot, you're right. Maybe that is like, we legit started doing demos like before the band would come in. So we started doing those and I was like, man, I couldn't even listen to the music on the way home. I think this is it. That this is not right.
Well, speaking of that, you were on season 10 of The Voice. Tell us about that experience. How did you get involved in that, and what kind of an experience was it?
That was such an awesome experience, and it seems so long ago now. Like, I wasn't even 21 yet. I was 20, and that experience truly changed. Like, I was doing music, like I was a hairstylist, and I was doing music on the side, just like playing some gigs, and whenever I had that experience on The Voice, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I feel called to do. This is totally what I'm supposed to do. And I met a lot of wonderful people that I'm so grateful to still be friends with now and just learned so much. I mean, at that point, I never even did like vocal warm-ups. I didn't even realize that, oh, this is important. So the one of the judges was Pharrell, and he said, he's like, I really feel like all you need to do is gain a little more control over your voice. And he was telling me legit, like, that was the most helpful feedback that I got from the coaches. He was so kind and took the time to really tell me where I needed to strengthen my voice. And so that truly was like, okay, I have homework. I went home, I came back, started doing hair again. And I'm like,
yeah,
vocal warm-up sometimes. So that really changed the trajectory of, my voice and my strength and where I am now.
Did you get a chance to hang out with the judges outside of filming the show?
No, unfortunately. That would have been so awesome though. But no, I didn't.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just imagine there's probably kind of a rule against it, but it would be so nice to just hang out without, the judging hanging over your head and just, being able to sort of talk about just music. I mean, I think you learn a lot just by talking with other musicians, don't you? And everybody has little tricks and little things that they do. And I will say there's a lot of singers who just go out on stage and start singing, and that's what they've always done, and that's what they do. But then there's people, who really believe in vocal exercise. I mean, David Bowie decided he would go to, about halfway through his career, he started going to a vocal coach, which was unheard of. I mean, rock stars don't do that, but he started to do it, and that's when he had that really amazing sort of change in his voice halfway through. He got to be this sort of crooner and a real interpreter of his music. So, I mean, everybody's got their own way of doing it, and it just teaches you so much.
That is so cool. I did not know that. I did not know that detail. I love that. It is. It really does. Like, just different dynamics and like just breath support. Like, just like simple things that you can implement into your practice and into your performance that just really changes the game.
When you were on the Voice, did you get the kind of interference that you're talking about? Did you have people come in and say, okay, you say, I want to sing this song, and they say, no, sing this song or sing it this way? In other words, did you run into the same problems that you ran into when you were trying to make an album?
Yeah, there was similar problems. And you know what? That is so funny. I've never thought about that. I never thought about that relation. And that really shows, like, because before I was like, yeah, totally. Yep, I'll do that. Whatever you say, whatever you think. Yes. And so I didn't have that confidence in them. The voice of just speaking and saying, no, this is who I am. And I truly, at that point, I didn't really know exactly who I was yet as an artist. I loved all different types of music. I was influenced by so many different genres and artists that I was like a mixing pot, and I still am, but now I know how to articulate that.
Who do you listen to? Who do you like to listen to when you get to after a long hard day's work, when you come home and you want to put something on? Who do you like to listen to?
I am such a mix. So like my go-to is like Jack Johnson. Like since I was little, since I was in probably middle school, early high school, it was Jack Johnson and Norah Jones. Those were probably my big ones.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up like as a little girl through elementary school listening to Christian music like FFH. I don't know if you guys know them. I love them. But now, I mean, it's like Lauren Daigle. I love soul stuff, but I also like Brothers Osborne and Miranda.
Of course.
So there's that like edgy side of things with the country rock, but then there's also like a bluesy soul sort of thing happening.
Sure. Well, I mean, they often say that country is soul for white people. It may be true, maybe not, but there's certainly there's so much soul in country. I mean, some of the most soulful music in the world are some of the greatest country songs. I mean, they make you cry, they make you laugh. They put you through it, and so
if you play the country song backwards, you get your car back, you get your wife back. I have to ask Olivia, because I know that there are some people listening right now are asking the same question. And that is, you're South Central Pennsylvania, down in Nashville, doing music. How much of this is the Taylor Swift story done again?
Oh yeah.
Do you think about that, or does anybody bring that up?
Actually, no. except now one person. I actually haven't gotten that before in that sense. As far as like the Taylor Swift thing, I think at first when I started playing my music when I've been playing guitar since 4th grade, but like the first time I played in a bar, I think I was 17 or 18 or something like that. So then it was like, oh, people would come up to me and say, I was expecting you to just sing like Taylor Swift songs, but this was cool. Like, you threw in like Oasis. And so like, that's like the only time I'd ever hear like, oh, we thought you were Taylor Swift because you're a white blonde girl playing the guitar. Kind of the stereotype. I mean, I don't know if that was politically correct to say, but like, that's just what it was. And so since moving down here, I haven't gotten that necessarily, just because I have a totally different sound. But who knows? I mean, hey, I would be totally fine with it being the Taylor Swift story happening all over again.
No, I don't think you'd have any problems with that. No, I mean, she's such a world beater. Every album has got something really great on it, and she's a really good songwriter. I mean, it's so great to hear these beautifully crafted gems on the radio, and her most recent ones are just as good as ever.
Oh, it's so amazing. And I think it's so cool, like knowing her story, how much like she had so much perseverance, because she was like, well, people, you're not really this good. People are doing this for you. She's like, no, I am this good, and I will prove to you that I am this good. And she did. I mean, she's done it 12 times over, So I love their story.
And do you have a lot of boyfriend breakups in your background that you can write songs about too?
I don't have too many, but I've written many songs about the few that I have.
Right.
I love, there was this meme that came out, and it was like, as an artist, like when you enter in a relationship, like the other person's like, I reserve the right to like break your heart. And then the songwriter goes, I reserve the right to write horrible things about you. Like, that's what you should know going into a relationship.
Right.
The songwriter.
You're going to hear about yourself on the radio.
It wasn't with relationships, but it was with a relationship. I wasn't dating him, but I wrote a song, and it got back. They knew it was about them, and they were very upset. And I was like, this is what I do.
Right.
Is your husband prepared for this? Did he do a prenup saying you can only write 5 bad songs about me or something?
That's awesome. No, we didn't. We didn't put that in. So you better stay in line.
He's been forewarned.
Yeah.
We'll talk more with Olivia in a moment, but first, this soothing musical interlude.
Olivia Farabaugh has been nominated for Best Female Country Artist and Songwriter of the Year. Her single, Body Will Break, was nominated for Song of the Year at the 2021 Central Pennsylvania Music Awards. She was also named 2019 and 2020's Best Solo Artist by the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame, and she won the 2018 WIOV Radio Showdown competition and 2016's Central Pennsylvania Nash Next radio contest.
You can follow Olivia on her website, oliviafarabaugh.com. That's OLIVIAFARABAUGH.com.
And now, back to the musical Innertube, already in progress.
Well, you do have your guitar with you, and I don't know if it's well tuned or not, but it would seem to be a waste, a shame if you didn't do a little something on it. So I don't know. I'm just going to leave this up to you. Is there anything that you'd like to play for us? And
Totally. So you guys are the background stories of the songs. Do you have a particular one that you want to hear, or do you want a sneak peek of the next single coming out?
that would make us very happy and put us right in that Taylor Swift happy stuff right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Yes, yes.
So this one is called Somewhere in Between. I'm going to tune while I talk because it is out of tune. But
Ladies and gentlemen, a world premiere right here on the musical Innertube.
I love it. And I love your guys' name. I know I said it before we started recording, but I just think it's awesome. I love it.
Yes. Nowhere else in the history of radio has a flub led to a title of a podcast.
Right.
You know what? You just got to embrace it.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. And we don't even really remember which one of us did it. You know, we might have done it together. We have no idea. We remembered it was done because people thought it was funny, but we don't remember which one of us messed up. I think it might have been either one.
Either one of us is fully capable of being an idiot at any one time.
You're not kidding. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, here we go. This is Olivia Farabaugh. She'll tell you what the song is, but this is a first sneak peek or sneak listen.
Yes. So this one is coming out January 12th. This is called Somewhere in Between. And I wrote this one pretty early on into our move. So it was probably almost about a year ago now. And I realized, I'm like, I am a very sensitive person and I need to get some thick skin if I'm going to survive in the music business and just in the world in general. Somewhere in between, I co-wrote this one with my friend Mitch Dave.
Bite my tongue never did me much good. Just didn't speak my mind and left me bleeding. So I put that hammer down and up went the walls. But locked down safe inside still left me lonely. I got to find my place somewhere between there and lace. Somewhere in between. Somewhere in between being queen of the world and under your feet. Somewhere in between. Somewhere in between the chip on my shoulder and this heart on my sleeve. Spend too much time playing both sides. Got a list of regrets, take backs, and fall into pieces. The push and pull of this sand at the ebb and flow of these constant. I gotta find what I never had. Somewhere in between being queen of the world and under your feet. Somewhere in between the chip on my shoulder and this heart on my sleeve. I got to find my place somewhere in between every place. Somewhere in between. Somewhere in between the weight of the crown and bowing at your feet. Oh, somewhere in between. Somewhere in between the chip on my shoulder and this heart on my sleeve. And this heart on my sleeve. Oh, 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 part of my song never did me much good. Just didn't speak my mind and left me bleeding.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Used to a crowd, so I'll go.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Wow.
That was nice, Olivia. Thank you very much. And one more time, what is the charity that's going to benefit from the album, and how can people get in touch with that if they want to throw some extra money in there?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. So it's called the CIRS Support Fund, stands for Chronic Inflammatory Response Syndrome. And you can go to malachi'smessage.com/CIRS Support Fund to learn more. I also have it posted on my social media sites, so if that's easier, you can go there. But yeah, if you want to, you can just donate directly to the fund, or if you do get the album, it will help support, or stream the music, it will help support.
Thanks for all of the information. And the album, again, is called Transparent, and also out now are...
Yeah, first, or Race Dollar Bill first, and Somewhere in Between is going to be out the 12th of January. And then the Transparent album will be officially released on all the digital platforms following. But you can get it in the physical copy if you come out to a show.
Where are you going to be playing?
So I have a couple gigs at some colleges and a lot in Nashville. So if you do come to Nashville, check out my schedule. You can see all of my upcoming shows on oliviafarabaugh.com. So go check that out, and hopefully I will see you there.
And if you come back to Palmyra, I will treat you to lunch at Hoagie's on Main.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Great,
That's
great.
For anybody else who's not been to Palmyra, that's the place to eat in Palmyra.
100%. I back that up.
Thank you so much. This has been so great. Yes, thanks so much.
I appreciate you guys so much for having me and speaking with me and learning about my story and music. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to the Musical Innertube.
The Musical Innertube is available everywhere good podcasts are found. Listen on your favorite platform and give us a good rating.
You can subscribe to the podcast on our website, musicalinnertube.com.
There you can listen to all of our podcasts, see pictures and biographies of our guests, and contact us. You could even leave us a voicemail.
And don't forget to leave your email address on our Talk to the Two page on the website, and we'll send you a preview of who's coming to talk with us by email, just so you're prepared.
That's musicalinnertube.com.
And as always, thanks to virtual band Car Radio Dog for our theme music.